Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Wriggler, and today we're going to read Chapter 5 of Homework Castles. If you remember in Chapter 4, Freddie was hanging upside down from a tree branch and it cracked. I asked you to make some predictions about what you thought would happen next, so we'll see if you were correct. Chapter 5 is called, Is It Broken? The emergency room was full of people, even in the middle of the night. We had already been waiting there an hour, and my right arm was killing me. My mom was convinced that it was broken. When is it going to be our turn? Susie whined. My parents had to wake her up in the middle of the night to come to the hospital with us. Don't even start, Susie, my dad said. If anyone should be complaining, it's Freddie, my mom said, turning to me. Are you okay? She had tied a blanket under my arm and around my neck like a sling to keep my arm from moving. It really hurts, Mom, I said, sniffling. Can you wiggle your fingers like this? My dad asked, moving all of his fingers. Nope, I said, wincing in pain. Boy, his fingers are so swollen they look like little sausages, said Susie. If they weren't so swollen, I'd give you a big knuckle sandwich right now, I said, glaring at her. Stop it right now, you two, my dad said. Just then the nurse called my name. Freddie Thresher. Finally, I said and sighed. Just follow me, please, she said. We followed her into an examining room where she took my blood pressure and carefully unwrapped my arm to get a better look. Dr. Carton will be here in a minute, she said, as she left the room. A few minutes later, Dr. Carton came in. Well, hello there, she said. Let's take a look at that arm. Now tell me, how did this happen? I fell out of a tree, I answered. What were you doing in a tree in the middle of the night? Don't ask, my mom answered, rolling her eyes. Well, it certainly looks broken to me, but we're going to take an X-ray to be sure. Freddie and I will be back in a few minutes, she said, smiling. She put me in a wheelchair and wheeled me down to the X-ray room. She lifted me onto a bed and told me to stay really still. Then she left the room, and I was alone in the dark. My stomach started to do flip-flops. So there's Freddie with the doctor. Did you predict he'd be going to the doctor? I didn't know what was going to happen. I'd never had an X-ray before. All done, she said when she came back into the room a minute later. That's it? I asked. Yep, that's it. Is it broken? I asked nervously. It sure is. A nice clean break. Let's go tell your parents. Do we have to? I thought. When this was all over, I was going to get the biggest punishment of my life. She wheeled me back to the room where Susie and my parents were all waiting to hear the news. Is it broken, doctor? My dad asked. I'm afraid so. I knew it, my mom said. We'll have to put it in a cast. I suddenly felt sick. A cast? Susie asked. You are so lucky, Freddie. Casts are so cool. All your friends can sign it, and you don't have to do your homework for a whole month. Hey, maybe breaking my arm wouldn't be so bad after all. I kind of like that part about not having to do my homework. Oh, Susie, don't be ridiculous, my mom said. Breaking your arm is not lucky. Freddie, what color would you like your cast to be? Dr. Carton asked. I thought casts were white, my dad said. Not anymore, said Dr. Carton. Now they come in lots of colors. Can I have blue-gray? Blue-gray? Why blue-gray? Dr. Carton asked, puzzled. Well, that's my favorite color. It's the color of thresher sharks. "You'll have to excuse him," my dad said. "He's obsessed with sharks." "Oh," Dr. Carton said, smiling. "Well, I don't have blue-gray, but I have a nice light blue color. How does that sound?" "Great," I said. By the time Dr. Carton got done setting my cast, it was almost 4 a.m. I had officially stayed up all night after all. And that's the end of the chapter. So he did end up hurting himself and he had to go to the hospital. We haven't heard about his punishment yet, and we don't know where Robbie is. Where do you think Robbie is while all of that was happening? Maybe we'll find out in our next chapter.